Welcome everyone to another Schoolscape online webinar. The purpose of these webinars is to help transition your school online. In studio today, we have two guests. We've got Klaus and Murray. Gents, welcome to the show. It's good to have you here.
Hello. Thanks very much, Peter. Hi.
Brilliant. So Klaus is from DocQtech Solutions. DocQtech is literally one of our favorite suppliers that we worked with. We know Klaus well, and we trust him when it comes to recommending him to schools. So DocQtech specializes in the supply, installation, service, and finance of technology in schools. So Klaus, thank you for being on the show. I think we're going to dive straight into this. I know this has been a busy week, and last week as well, with lots of schools contacting you. And I think the best opening question is literally, what are the challenges that the teachers are facing when it comes to teaching from their house?
Hi, Peter, and thanks once again for the great opportunity, and to our audience. It's great to be with you guys. So the number one challenge that the teachers are having right now is they've literally been thrown into the deep end. The traditional classroom, as we know it, has temporarily changed to a remote and online platform. And the challenge there is that the teachers don't have that face-to-face close interaction that they would normally have with the kids. So the teachers are having to be so much more creative and unique in the way that they obviously do their lessons to captivate the students. The other challenge is that the teachers are having to familiarize themselves with the different audio visual or the audio video conferencing platforms like Microsoft Teams, Google Classrooms, and Zoom, just to mention a few. Another huge challenge is, in many instances, teachers don't have any audio-visual aids or equipment at all. So it becomes very challenging for them to do all of these exciting classes and be original and captivate the students when they don't have any of the audio-visual equipment. I was speaking to a teacher yesterday, and a perfect example of this was that she's actually using a mouse to draw and to write, and that is such a challenge. So I think generally teachers are in uncharted waters at the moment. It's a lot of trial and error for them. But I think the teachers are doing a phenomenal job, and I really take my hat off to them, and they generally are the unsung heroes at the moment.
Klaus, I 100% agree with you. I think it's uncharted. I think it's a whole new learning curve. So well said. Just for any of our live viewers, if you have any questions as we go along, on the right of your screen is a tab that says questions. You can drop questions in there, and what we'll do is at the end, we'll make 10 minutes available to answer those questions. Klaus, just another question. I think this is the million-dollar question, and I think this is why we have people viewing at the moment. What are the solutions that you would like to recommend as DocQtech for those teachers that are now trying to work out how to teach from home?
Thanks, Peter. So traditionally, DocQtech is a supplier of interactive and collaborative learning equipment into the classrooms. So we focus on your interactive boards, your interactive flat panels, interactive projectors and non-interactive projectors. We do your audio. We obviously do your document cameras. But today I want to focus on the two products that really fit into the aspect of online teaching, and that is the document camera. That's the Elmo document camera and Elmo tablet. Now, these two products can work in conjunction with one another, or they can work independently of one another. I just want to add that pre-COVID-19, the Elmo document camera was one of our top-selling products. And the reason for this is that it is such an easy product to use. And the teachers, it's one of the most popular products amongst the teachers. Because of the ease of use, there's no installation, and it is very feature-rich. And a teacher, especially in this current scenario and where we're finding ourselves, a teacher can be au fait with using the product literally within an hour. I just want to mention that there are a lot of document cameras on the market. There's a lot of good document cameras. The Elmo document camera is, however, the world's leading document camera. So I've just got to add that. But I want to appeal to the educators listening, to the principals listening, to the heads of IT. If you guys do have document cameras and these are sitting in the storerooms, please get these to your teachers. They need them. They need them to be creative, and they need them to create those exciting lessons. So today, Murray's going to demonstrate the Elmo document camera and the Elmo tablet. He's going to run through some of the key and exciting features that these products have.
Brilliant. Thank you, Klaus. Murray, over to you. And I think I know you demoed to me, and I was really amazed at what I saw and how simple the camera is to use. So can you give us a quick demo of how it works? And then more importantly, I think this is the key thing, some tips and tricks on how a teacher can actually use it from home.
Yeah, absolutely, Peter. Thanks very much. So what I've got with me today is got quite a few products on the desk here. We do have different models within the range. So from a very entry-level camera to a more sophisticated camera. So each camera has different features and capabilities. And, we are here from a supplier point of view to recommend the correct camera for the correct application. So the camera that I'm going to be demonstrating today is the L12 camera. It is seen as Elmo's flagship model, and the model is packed with features, and it can give us a good overview of what the entire range consists of. So I think just for our viewers to understand simply, you can get a very basic document camera, and something like this is going to be working with documents. That's what you're going to use it for. And then when we start having a look at a camera like this, because of its arm design, which is unique to Elmo, it allows us to get some flexibility with the camera. So we can move it around, and we can zoom in and zoom out. Let's get onto it, and let's have a look at how these can work in the classroom. You mentioned that I'm going to show you a few tips. So, just over the years from working with different educators and seeing how the cameras are utilized in the classrooms, it's quite important to go through some things that are very basic. But I've noticed in classrooms, the guys, when I show them these features, they go, oh, wow, I can use that. That's fantastic. So over here, underneath the document camera, I've just got a white plastic board, something you can buy from a stationery store. And for the educators that want to bring their whiteboard home, this would be the solution for you. I've got a normal whiteboard marker pen, and simply I can work underneath the document camera, and let's get a cloth and erase that off. It really is as simple as that. So for the guys that just want to bring the whiteboard home and carry on, then we can do that. So we'll have a look at some other features with recording capabilities and taking pictures of that in a moment.
Murray, I think that's fantastic. It's also, just for those that are wondering, the screen that you're viewing now, that is literally plugged in from what the camera is viewing. So as a teacher, that would be what your learners would view. And I think what's key, this week we had a lot of questions from schools going, how do I teach maths? How do I write? And even literally what Klaus was talking about someone trying to write with their mouse. This gives you a simple whiteboard like this, and the visualizer gives you the power of a full whiteboard that you can use and put equations, draw pictures, etc. So thank you for that simple, quick tip.
No, sure. So some other things that we need to have a look at with the document camera is utilizing our cell phones. So, we all have these smartphones now, and a lot of the time we've got media that is stored on the phone, and we find it quite difficult. How do I get this displayed to my projector in the classroom or onto the flat panel? Or in this webinar now, I've got an image on my cell phone and I'd like to bring it into my lesson. This is this is actually a picture of a do-it-yourself document camera. And I thought it was quite funny, because these are the challenges that guys are faced with. They need to bring their lessons to life, and they are going to all measures to get this done. And we do have purpose-built product. So that would be a picture. But if I did want to put a video underneath the document camera, this is just YouTube now.
Sure. That's absolutely fantastic. So you can use it as a whiteboard. You can then show stuff directly off your phone, which simplifies stuff for a teacher working from home. And then YouTube, it's suddenly so much easier now that you can draw their attention to it and go in. And that quality is high, which is also, I think, important.
Yeah. And then, some other applications that we can have a look at. Just before we started this webinar, I picked a flower from the garden. And I'd like to show you a couple of things. So let's start with the parts of the flower. And I need to that. And what I'm going to do now, you can see on the left-hand side, I've opened what's called a split screen. And now I've put my little flower underneath the document camera. Now you can see the image is out of focus. So on the left-hand side of the camera, there's a little button that I'm going to press. And then that will be able to bring the image into focus for me. And now what we can do on the right-hand side, I've got a real flower, and on the left-hand side, I've got a diagram of the flower.
Sure. That is incredibly powerful. And I think also one of the things we're picking up from a lot of schools is how do you actually engage the learners when they're at home? So this allows it to be very dynamic, pretty much what you would be able to do in a classroom in a lot of cases. Mary, maybe also just to mention while you're doing this, some of the learners at home won't always have Wi-Fi connection or internet at all times, and maybe only get onto a device later. If a teacher is using this document camera, the visualizer, can they also record? How simple is that?
Yeah. So with Elmo, and it's another one of the reasons why Elmo has become such a popular camera worldwide. Because they've got some really simple to use software. So I'm going to take you through some of the features on the software, and let's let me I just need to get out of the split screen, yeah. And so now what I've got is I've got my writing surface underneath the document camera, and if I wanted to, I can just use this flip menu. Sorry, I've connected onto a different screen here. So.
That's fine. While Murray's setting that up, for any of the live viewers, we're pushing a poll live at the moment. We're just interested to find out how many of you have used the visualizer in your classroom before. So if you look at the right of your screen, there's a questions tab. Please remember to add your questions. There's also a polls tab. So please, if you want to enter that tab, enter in on that poll. Thank you. Back to you, Murray.
Yeah, sorry. I actually was working off my mouse, and I should have been working on the pad. So what I can do now is I'm going to click the recording button, and I've pressed start recording. So this is recording the video as well as the audio. I'm just going to go back to the simple whiteboard, and you can see that there's a little bit of reflection that is now on the board. and that's because I've got the stage light on. So if I turn the stage light off, then we'll be able to remove any reflection that you may have. I'm going to press stop recording.
So literally a teacher could be doing a live session or sitting at home the night before preparing. They can record as easily as if they were teaching in front of the classroom.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is recording the video as well as the audio. I'm just going to go back to the simple whiteboard, and you can see that there's a little bit of reflection that is now on the board, and that's because I've got the stage light on. So if I turn the stage light off, then we'll be able to remove any reflection that you may have.
That's
good. So what educators can do is they can pre-record their lessons. They don't have to do a live broadcast. Obviously, a live broadcast is nice because you get the questions and answers like we're doing today. But what I could have done prior to the session is I could have recorded everything, and then I could have posted it on one of the platforms that you'd be using.
Okay, I think that's brilliant. And Murray, tell me, a lot of teachers use textbooks. How can you engage a learner with a textbook by using your technology?
Okay, so it really is as simple as this. Let's pop a textbook underneath the document camera. I'm just going to focus this up nicely and get it nice and square. And I think you guys all remember the old white piece of paper that got put on top of a overhead transparency.
Yes.
So what we've got is we've got a masking tool on this camera, and then I would be able to get my class just to focus on parts of the content that I'm having a look at. So there's a mask facility, and there's also a spotlight facility as well. Nice for readers. If we wanted to change the orientation of that, we can as well. And we can get our class just to focus on certain parts of the content. So at this point now, I want to introduce the tablets. I've been using it, but Klaus made mention that a lot of we get a lot of requests. Is there something better than writing with my mouse? And the answer is one of these graphic tablets. So it doesn't. You actually don't see the image. So what you're going to do is you're going to see the mouse pointer on your screen, and then you'll be able to write there. But what it does do for us is very simply. So maybe I'm going to bring up a whiteboard for us, and let's say that we're doing some tier counts, and maybe this is sales, and then we've got our cost of sales, and if we wanted to show where our debits and credits are. So it's really nice when you are wanting to write things instead of working with the mouse. So I'm sure we've all seen these YouTube videos, and the guys seem to be writing with ease, and then we try and do it with our mouse at home, and it's not quite the same. So that's how they're doing it. They're doing it with the graphics tablet, and what the graphics tablet allows me to do is to also I'm working with the visualizer image at the moment, but what I could do is I can take control of my PC as well. So just before the lockdown, I lent one of these graphics tablets to a friend of mine who is an educator, and she uses OneNote. And she said it is absolutely phenomenal what she can do now, because I think she was obviously battling with the mouse prior to the graphics tablet. So very handy tool. Both of these these products are, the nice thing is that you're not in a situation where you're only going to use this technology for the duration of the lockdown. As Klaus mentioned, before the lockdown, we were selling hundreds of document cameras, and now there's just an increased demand because it's going to make your life a lot easier when you are trying to broadcast over these webinars and things.
Brilliant. Mary, just one of the questions that has come through just on platforms, the person asks, we see you using Livestorm, so that's obviously from Schoolscape side. Is there a preferred platform to use when it comes to this technology? Zoom, TeamViewer, Google, etc., and why?
Okay, so I think it's individual preference and what the school's preference is. So essentially, how you've got to view this is, I've got my camera that's on my laptop here, and I've just selected a different camera. So I'm using this as the camera now. So it doesn't really matter what platform you're using, as long as you have the option to select a camera, which all of them should have.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And the other thing, of course, is it must have screen sharing capability.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. And as far as I know, when it comes to Zoom, TeamViewer, Google, etc., all of them have that functionality. So I agree with you. And for any of the viewers, we do have some webinars on using Zoom, Google Classroom, those different options, so you can check it out. And Murray, am I correct in saying all you would need to do is plug the visualizer and the slate, the tablet, into your USB point?
Yeah. So what I do have is I'm using some Elmo software now, and the Elmo software comes with the document camera. So it doesn't matter which product you buy from Elmo, the software will be used across platform, and it's licensed to the camera. So for argument's sake, there's no real license as long as you bought a camera. You can't use the software without the camera. And then, it's a matter of plugging the USB in, and the menu, the software is, it's very simple software to work with. So there's a little flip menu at the bottom here. I can zoom in and out using either the dial on the side of the document camera. If I want to autofocus that, now I just press the autofocus button and it will autofocus that for me. And there are some templates that are within the software. Sorry, I've got to open up a different, I must just change this into a different mode. Yeah.
I think, Murray, we soon going to move across to Klaus just for a couple of questions. Just a reminder for any of our live viewers, if you have questions, please pop them through. We'll go into a period now where we'll answer those. But finish off this, Murray. And also, I think, Murray, if you can, I know you've got a trick up your sleeve that really grabs learners' attention. So when you finish explaining that, can you show what you showed us earlier?
Yeah. So this is always just a fun thing to have in sort of to end off the day and start a session maybe. And for those of you who have never seen this, it is quite interesting. So over here, I've got a normal 100 Rand note. And in this banknote, I'm going to show you the copyright. So if you have a look over here, we've got a buffalo in the background. And if I was to tell you that buffalo, whilst it looks like it's just a shaded blue buffalo, that entire buffalo is actually made up of 100. And it's quite interesting to see. It also shows off the quality of our document camera. So I'm going to zoom right in, and then what I'm going to do is press the autofocus button.
And those are little tiny hundreds.
Yeah, that's it. So
does the 200 Rand note have tiny 200s?
Yeah, they've all. It's the copyrights in the notes. So anyone that's looking to copy banknotes, they just need to take this into account.
Good luck with that. I think that's brilliant. Mary, thank you so much. I think that really shows the power of the visualizer. I really love those tips and tricks, just using a whiteboard or your Slate tablet, being able to use a textbook, even just using your cell phone. Those are really good. Klaus, I'm just going to pop some questions across to you. I know as you are dealing with a lot of schools out there, and I think the $1 million question, and hopefully it's not $1 million, but what is the cost of these products? What kind of should a school be looking at if they would like to purchase them?
So, yeah, good question, Peter. So we have various costing options for the school. A very popular option is the rental option. So if a school is looking to purchase numerous units and to populate quite a few of their classrooms, the rental option is often attractive. It's an easier pill to swallow. And we do a special 36-month period with 0% escalation to the schools, and we also give them ownership. So if we look at the flagship, like Murray mentioned, the Elmo L12, your monthly rental on that would be 433 Rand per month. If you were to get the Elmo tablet as an addition to that, it would be 154 Rand per month. The outright purchase of the tablet is 4,200 Rand, and the outright purchase for the L12, currently with our exchange rate, we're looking at 11,800 Rand. Murray did make mention and show the other models. So if the school does have budget constraints, we do have the entry-level model, which is the OX1, which is 4,800 Rand, and the MX1, the next model up, is 6,500 Rand. But, you know, if the educators want to phone me, we can discuss it. Each case, you know, on the requirements are. It's very important that we, you know, position the correct camera for the actual requirements.
Right. And Klaus, I think a good point to raise, and it is something that a teacher will be using at home. This is something that they can take straight into their classroom. I know you mentioned, and maybe you just want to elaborate how powerful it is just for normal classroom use for when schools are open.
Yeah, so I just want to reiterate. So I mentioned it in opening, and Murray also mentioned it. You know, we've literally sold hundreds and hundreds of the Elmo document cameras into the schools because it is such a popular product, either on its own or to complement other audiovisual equipment. So if a school, for instance, already has interactive whiteboards, or they have data projectors or interactive flat panels, the Elmo document camera will seamlessly integrate into what they already have. And then if a school has nothing, this is a perfect opportunity to start populating the school and embrace interactive and collaborative technology.
Brilliant. Klaus, we've sadly come to the end. I'm going to ask one last question, and just while I do that, for any of the live viewers, if you would like that Klaus and the team from DocQtech to contact you, there is a simple poll on your right where you can click yes, and it will mean Klaus and his team will just reach out and give you a shout to explain. What I will also do is paste Klaus's details below for you in the chat section. If anyone is viewing on YouTube, in the blur below or off our website, you'll also be able to get all his details from the page. But Klaus, I think last question, and quite a key one. If a school does engage with you, one is, do you have stock at the moment if they want it now? And then secondly, how do you support schools over the long haul?
Yeah, so Peter, to answer that, yes, we definitely do have stock. We did envision that, you know, we would need a lot of stock, which we have. So we do have stock, and we can get it to the educators. And then in terms of support, we at DocQtech believe in long-term relationships. So it's not just box dropping. We understand that the school is investing a lot of money in this type of equipment, and it's not going to be utilized correctly if we don't do training. So on all the equipment that we supply to the schools, training is key. So we supply, we support, we maintain, and we do all the training, and that's at no additional cost.
Brilliant. Well, that's our time out. Murray, thank you. Really appreciate that live demo. You've spoiled my fun in trying to replicate 100 Rand notes. I won't be doing that anymore, but thank you for just showing us those tips and tricks and how the visualizer works. And then Klaus, thank you. I've posted details there, so if anyone would like to connect with Klaus, please do. And please stay looking at our website, other info for other webinars we have. But Klaus, Murray, gentlemen, thank you.
Fantastic. And to the audience, thanks so much. And we look forward to engaging with you in the future and answering all your questions. Thanks, Peter.
All right. Cheers, everybody.